That's Our City and Adam Levine and Locked Away on Downtown Radio. It's just approaching 10:25. Now, if you're on social media, if you're on Facebook, here's something that might be of interest to you. How would you feel if a newspaper took your pictures from your Facebook and printed them in the paper? You might say, well, they can't do that unless they have my permission. But once you've published it on Facebook, is it free game? Is it legal? More to the point, maybe, is it ethical? To talk a little bit more about this, I'm joined by Yair Cohen. Yair is a partner at Cohen Davis Solicitors, a UK law firm which specialises in internet and social media law. So if anybody knows something about this, this is the man to tell us and to clarify. Yair, you're very, very welcome to Daytime on Downtown.
Good morning, Siobhan.
Now, first of all, if I have a picture on Facebook, let's say I have a picture of you, Yair, on my Facebook page or in my photographs, and somebody decides, well, look, I want a photograph of Yair Cohen for this, that or the other for my newspaper. Is it legal for them to go into my Facebook page and take the photograph?
The simple answer is no. It is not legal. Just because an image appears on social media doesn't make it a free market for anyone to go and pick it and do whatever they want. Because under normal circumstances, newspapers will have to pay for stock images. So in a way, by taking somebody else's images without permission, they are avoiding making that payment. But beyond this narrow point, I think that it's been recognized that a person image constitutes one of the chief attributes of his or her personality. Because a person image reveals the person's characteristics and distinguishes a person from that person's peers. So there is a right of protection of one's image. Forget all about copyright and who took the image. We're going to come to this later on. But principally speaking, every person has a right to his own or her own image. Now, freedom of expression includes publication of photos, but this is nonetheless an area in which the protection of rights and protection of others need to also take some precedence, because photos might contain very personal or even intimate information about an individual or his family, and those rights have already been recognized by the European Court. So we have to distinguish between two separate rights. First is the legal right over the image, or as we call it, copyright over an image. So the copyright will belong to the person who took the image. So if somebody else took your image, the copyright will belong to them normally, not to you, even though your image has been captured. And then there is your right over the image that was taken by somebody else is the right over the image itself, over your face in the image, or your body, or the complexion. This is a separate right that is part of your right to privacy. It's part of Article 8.
It's insensitive as well, isn't it, to go into somebody's personal Facebook page? But then, because it's a public platform, because Facebook is a public platform, and you in the first instance have published it on Facebook, then is it not out there for everybody to?
No, it is certainly not. And in this particular instance, without knowing all the details, the newspaper will be liable to pay damages and also royalties in terms of the photographs. And this is, we actually did a case a few weeks ago with one of the national newspapers who helped themselves to an image of our clients that they took from LinkedIn. Now, the same argument could be made that LinkedIn images are, a person put the image in the public domain, but that doesn't necessarily give the newspaper a right to just take it and do whenever they want with it. So in that particular instance, the newspaper offer, first they remove the image from the website, and also they offer to pay compensations and royalties for past use of that image.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting because, we just don't know enough about it, do we? Again, as far as I'm concerned, if I put something up on Facebook, I'm making it public. But then when somebody from somewhere, not one of my friends, comes from nowhere and takes a photograph, then it's pretty offensive, isn't it? And you sort of think, oh, well, that's, it's not nice, but is it legal? And, you're saying it's not legal. So not only is it not ethical, it's not legal either.
It is clearly not legal to do that. And unfortunately, newspapers do take advantage, and you are absolutely right, Siobhan. Public doesn't know enough about this subject, and people wrongly believe that once they place an image on social media. I mean, social media is really a social network. It is a small group. Effectively, people choose who they want to be friends with, and they share information among themselves. That doesn't give a right to anybody else to just take the information and use it for their own personal or commercial purposes. So it is very, very important that people realize that just because you place an image on the internet, that doesn't give anyone a right, not even to a national newspaper, to make use of these images without asking for your permission and paying you royalties for the use of this image. Unfortunately, what newspapers do in terms of, quite often in times of difficulties for people, when people are quite vulnerable, newspapers, unfortunately, sometimes count on the fact that no one will make a complaint, and they just take those images. They shouldn't really be doing that.
And what if you don't have your settings on your social media set? Your privacy settings. If you have it public rather than private. It
is completely irrelevant. If you imagine a website that say sells stock images. Stock images are for anyone who's not familiar with stock images are images that are sort of standard images that companies sell to newspapers or to anyone who wants to use images on the website. So they go and they pay whatever amount of money for the use of that image. So those images are public as well, but people still have to go and pay royalties, or they have to rent those images to place them on the website. The privacy setting on your social media is completely irrelevant to whether you give consent for other people to use information, and particularly use of images.
And I also noticed quite a lot and quite regularly, I'll see this come up on Facebook, that people post a notice to say, please note that you have no permission to copy or republish or distribute or publish any information contained on my page or whatever, or words to those effect. Does that make a difference, or they shouldn't need to do that?
They shouldn't need to do that. This is simply a reminder, because again, apart from of stealing one's work, which is an image or a photograph, there are also issues of privacy, a right to private life, rights to family life, and data protection rules, where one's image is considered as data, and if you take one's image and place it on your own website, what you effectively do, you're effectively processing their data. You're processing one's image. So there are lots and lots of implications to using other people's images without their permissions that most people are sadly not yet aware of.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic, but it's also, it's a minefield, isn't it?
It is a minefield. But all we need to remember is first that a person has a right to his own or her own image, so to their own face, to their own complexion. So anything that is an image belongs to them. It's just a human right that they have. And the second thing we need to remember is that a person has got the right over any image that person took themselves. So if you use your camera to take an image, you have the copyright over that image. So those are the two most important rights that a person has over images. And nobody has got the right just steal those images from you.
Some great advice there. Thanks ever so much for joining us. That's Yair Cohen, who's a partner at Cohen Davis Solicitors, a UK law firm who specialise in internet and social media law. 9181 50 50 is the number to call if you want to get in touch with us. Still to come on the show. What else have we got for you? It's